What's going on, guys? Your boy Kid Twist. Welcome to the House of Entertainment. Um, I wanted to talk about this video, man, from dstyle boxing. dstyle, man, he stays connected. He stays making great videos, boxing and non-boxing. This video is actually non-boxing, but I wanted to talk about this video because in that scenario, me and dstyle, I mean, I agree with him in a lot of things he say about boxing, obviously, but and the things that don't have to do with boxing, as far as like what he's talking about now, the NSA and all this stuff, I actually do agree with him because it's it's just things that I've been seeing and I've been watching, and guys, we gotta remember, history will always repeat itself in some way or another. um we are humans, and people. Me personally, I love history. I love history. I love history. I love reading about history. I love reading and just looking back at the times. Because if you don't know where you came from, then you really don't know who you are and where we came from, how we came, and how we got here. Um, you know, People seem to think that we are ahead, and we have this enormous great amount of technology, and we're just just super. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you take away the electricity, basically, if you take away the electricity, we'll be living back in the 1496. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we really will be living back in the Middle Ages. If you was just, and that's just only electricity. Not counting cars and shit, because I mean, mostly gas and all that shit is run by pumps that are electrically made and all that shit. Anyways, um, with that being said, in respects to the video that that D Style did, which was a great video, man. Always this guy know what he talking about. That's why I'm my real fan of his channel, because he knows what he's talking about, and you know he's a he says the right things, and they I congratulate you for that. En verdad que te lo merece, bro. Que tremendo canal que tú tienes. Anyways, you know, I have come to notice that as time has went by, I came here from Cuba in the year 2000, and I have noticed that, as because we got to think about it. We got to think about this, guys. Every century, every millennium, I guess, or century, whatever you want to call it, has his good things for humanity and bad things for humanity. Every century or millennia has that type of aspect. We could look at parts of the 19th century. That's when the light was made. And for the people who don't understand what 19th century means, it means from the year 1800s until 1899. That's the past. That's the 19th century. That's when the electricity was created during that century. Communication, like they would communicate with the little dee, 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 dee. Um, of course, we had horrible things, as far as slavery, civil war. In this country, I'm sure there was horrible things around the world as well. Um, with that said, like I said, yeah, every century brings its good things that would benefit humanity, and the things that would hurt or harm humanity. Um, with that being said, I just want to be clear. I feel like the 21st century, we will we will have great things as far as technology goes, but I see this 21st century as, like, I don't know, being very a violent 100 years, that we're gonna be put through, because of just the way the world is, how we running out of water, oil. Even though oil, as far as oil goes, I feel like big companies will be able to find something, to sustain that. But water, food, all that bullshit. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of, I don't know if the word is turbulence or chaos, But I feel like, yeah, something like that, something big will be part of something big, in the 21st century. I mean, in a way, we already been part of something big because of 9/11. But aside from that, that's just kind of like an appetizer. I feel like, this 21st century will be part of something huge. Anyways, with that being said, dstyle talks in this video about how the NSA is going to target, terrorists and all this stuff. And, you know, funny thing about that is, like I said, we got cell phones now. Practically people cannot live without cell phones. Um, you got reality shows, you got all this fucking technology, Xbox, you can name it. I mean, we have so many fucking distractions. I don't think the human being, as far as in the United States, there's no human being in on earth that has this many distractions as we have here in the United States. It's like, like it reminds me of, a person who is so into something that they're doing, whether it might be work or whether it might be, I don't know, games or work or hanging out with their body or hunting, whatever it is, that they're too busy to realize that their wife is fucking their best friend. I mean, that's what, because it's like in this country, we have so many distractions and so many cell phones, internet, computer, TV, all that bullshit that, people are so into that, life, and they forget what they really are and who they are. They work Monday to Friday, and years go by, years go by, and they turn 60 and they go like, well, life just went by. Well, yeah, motherfucker, you have been a society slave. You know what I mean? Pretty much a fucking cattle. But with that being said, um, I can't help but realize that this country is in a slow kind of, a person that has HIV positive type shit, like AIDS. You know how AIDS is real slow, like it could come in 5 years, and 10 years, 15 years, whichever the case might be. It takes a certain amount of time before it kills your ass. But in that type of way, I'm beginning to realize that this country, and maybe I'm late, maybe, I mean, I have realized it earlier, but I'd never really spoken about it. But I'm beginning to realize that this country is turning into, in a smart way, in an intelligent way, it's turning into a communist regime. I mean, it's just equal, so close to a communist regime I mean, I can't even begin to really explain it. Like, the things that he talks about and the things that I have heard myself, you know, it's just crazy. Like, like you can't really speak your mind because, it's a problem. You can't do this, you can't do that. They check everything you do. In Cuba is the same way. In Cuba, when people like my dad and a couple other people that were not that were against the Cuban regime, against the Cuban government, when my dad would speak out and call the state radio stations over here in Miami, my dad would get, surveillance put on him. They would follow my dad, see where he go, what will he do. You know what I mean? In Cuba, people that speak against the country, they're not labeled as, oh yeah, well, this guy, no. They will label you as a terrorist, as a bad person. They'll make you look as a bad guy. They don't want to make you look as a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Of course. So, I'm beginning to realize, aside from the fact that, of course, America is not a stupid country. We still got food and cars, and we have a certain amount of rights. We have a certain amount of freedoms. But in general, I'm beginning to realize that America is turning more and more into a communist regime in its own way, in its own, I guess, in its own um, unique way. Yeah, I guess in its own unique way, because it's like, like you just really don't have a freedom to say really what you really feel, because it's just such an issue. We got surveillance put on us, like, you know I'm sure the government knows every single thing I do. you know they probably know more about me than I know about me. um you got drones now, and it's funny because, like, a lot of people talk about, no, they can't take our guns because it's our right, because of the government and this, and it's like, I mean, they sound so stupid. Like, even if the government was to do a major takeover, or create a revolution, kind of like what Stalin did, if something like that was to happen, a coup, I think that is called, we wouldn't be able to do anything about it. The people will not. I mean, the government has tanks, guns, airplanes, drones, helicopters. I mean, what else do you want? You think you gonna be able to fight against that with a 45 and AKs and shit like that? Get the fuck out of here! You fucking nuts. But I gotta agree with dstyle, because it's like, I realize that, you know we're being fucking, like, just given this fucking all this distractions, all these distractions here, and we're beginning to lose sight of what's really going on, and that's just is amazing to me, how we're completely losing sight of what's going on, and we are completely losing sight of, you know what's happening in this country. Not even talking about the whole world, but just this country. And it's just crazy, man, because, like, back in the days, 40s, 50s, 60s, not even too long ago, people who sit there and read the newspaper and shit. Now people don't even fucking read the newspaper. I doubt if they even look at the news. You know what I'm saying? So, and even the news are fucking. A lot of the news, they report what they want to report. But they really don't tell you the 100% truth. So it's just amazing what's going on in this country. In my opinion, I honestly feel like this country is already a organized communism, an organized communist country. And I feel that change came around when Kennedy died, or maybe earlier, but around that time, man, we are a organized communist country. What do I mean by the country? People be like, oh, now the country's starting to do crazy shit. The country been doing crazy shit. I mean, I'm gonna play this by mind, but Reagan declared this war on drugs and porn and all this bullshit. And then fucking Oliver Stone was fucking bringing in coke, selling it to Freeway Ricky Ross and shit, and all the money he will make out of the fucking all the drug money, he will buy guns and give it to the fucking anti-communist country over there in Nicaragua, to fight the Sandinista government. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they always done what the fuck they wanted to do. They always been slimy and shit. So I feel like, yeah, man, this country, but now is more obvious and more bluntly, like, more out there, that they're, you know what I'm saying? It's like this guy, you always knew he was kind of weird, he was kind of fucking gay, but you always had your doubts, and then out of nowhere you start seeing him, like, with the dress and the clothes and the lipsticks, and you begin to realize, like, damn, this motherfucker is really open about that shit. Same thing. Now this country is being more blunt with, like, the security thing that's going on. Now you can't tape a fucking cop, so it's like they can do what the fuck they want to do, and they keeping us, entertained, and keeping us in the loop with, by giving us, all this technology, fucking cell phones and iPads and iPad and all that bullshit, and laptops and shit, and reality shows, and Kim Kardashian big ass and all that shit. But we're beginning to lose sight of what's really going on, and that's not good. That's not good, because look at the Germans. Hitler was a fucking sweetheart to the fucking Germans, and then it all went upside down. So yeah, that's not good. When you start losing sight of what's going on in your own fucking country, that's not good at all. Anyways, it's about to be 15 minutes, man. This is just a little video about what dstyle did. You know, like I said, dstyle, man, great channel. dstyle boxing, great channel, great material. Buena suerte, loco, porque tremendo canal que tiene. Anyways, it's your boy Kid Twist. This is House of Entertainment, and I'm out of here. Dale, mi gente.